Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How's it going, everybody? Sorry, finishing up a little breakfast there. A little toast and coffee. All right. Let's see. How are we doing? Doing okay. I worked too late last night. At a little one of my various game dev co-working sessions that I try to attend with some local game devs here. Usually remotely, occasionally in person, usually remotely. I fixed all of the transcription errors from yesterday. We moved around a lot of functionality and we made some errors. It ended up being in kind of a weird place where the errors ended up appearing, but they're pretty much resolved now. So you might notice some weirdness with the overlay. That's something we're going to address today. Otherwise, we're doing okay. But we're going to be working on the overlay today. That's kind of the rule of the day here. Specifically the outlines. I'm thinking about separating the outlines into their own layer, but that would be just for the overlay at the moment. It might be... I might do it for everything. I'm tempted to kind of split it because while it works okay in this context and just the regular... I'm having some weird cutaway problems. I think it has to do with hitting 0, like when I draw something right up to the edge. Oh, I'm not at the edge. Yeah, I have some cutaway problems. But I don't want to worry about that right now, per se. What I do want to worry about is how I want to handle the standard overlay. Which doesn't work the same as the solid. So it's like semi-transparent. Doesn't work quite the same as the solids. The solid surfaces. Needs a bit of a different solution. There's a lot more you can actually play with and see the overlap because the mask is semi-transparent. Hey, Sapphire Starship. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. How are you doing today? How much coffee do I have left? Some. That's enough. Yeah, we fixed most of the problems with the solid autotiler, at least. I need a word for it, but I don't want to call it the underlay. The substrate, I don't know. But the overlay has problems. The overlay is running into the issue where vertical lines overlap between... When they're at the edge of two tiles, they overlap. So the tile in front, in terms of Y sorting or Z indexing or whatever, overwrites the tile behind it. But sometimes, if I'm like trying to mask off the edge of a selection here, like here's a good example. If I do this, great, get a nice clean overlay. But if I do the same thing from like inside here, you see the missing outline along the top. along the top of that thing. I can't quite get to it. I think my finger will get chopped off. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, there should be a line along here. Sapphire, not bad, not bad. You just got home from work. How's the day going? Pretty good, pretty good. I finished my first, you know, I do my day job in 2 stints. I do half of it before the stream and half of it after. So I'm kind of I'm in my middle third, you know, of my work day. So it ends up being a long work day. I usually end up working something like 7 to 7, something like that. Sometimes later, like counting my game dev co-working session last night, I think I worked from 7 in the morning until 11 at night, which is not healthy. And obviously that means total work, like split between, you know, my day job, my game dev project. So I'm a bit tired today, but I'm all right. I'm going to take it easy the next, well, at least tonight. And then tomorrow night I had the idea, I kind of want to watch Event Horizon. I don't know why. It's like the nice intersection of like spooky Halloween stuff and sci-fi. I think it would help get me in the mood for the Halloween jam this weekend. We might end up making some kind of sci-fi eldritch horror game if I do that, but I can work with that. So anyway, the issue that this showcases is that the tile above this highlight actually needs to know that the tile beneath it is highlighted. And that's just a very different procedure than anything else that we do. When it's a solid, that doesn't normally matter. I've thought about whether we can do this without the overlap. I can't figure out a way to do it for the vertical overlap, so we need to incorporate it somehow. And it kind of means expanding the tile set atlas, which is like the last thing I want to do. Alternatively, we could use a shader. I don't think that's a good idea either. I think that would end up being both more work and also a lot of a performance overhead to do that on a per pixel basis. Sapphire, ouch. You don't know that you would be able to do that, though at least it's broken up. It's not 7 to 7 of the exact same work. Yeah, no. It's all right. And there's like, you know, breaks in between. I have a lot of flexibility at my job. I'm actually very privileged and blessed that I work mostly remote. I go into the office like most Mondays, but not every Monday, depending on the needs of the business. All right. So, yeah, I kind of need to just think through how I want to tackle this outlining problem. The ant reaching the 3-stream streak. Oh, and Sapphire with the 5-stream streak. This was fun. This is like a new Twitch feature, huh? I got called out this morning in my Wormwood gaming stream that I always lurk in the morning. My wood shop, my lo-fi wood shop stream I hang out in. They were like, "You're on a stream streak," and I'm like, "Oh, cool. How are you doing, Ant?" Or do you prefer A? Oh, Rhiannon Journey coming in won't be outdone. Also on the 5-stream streak. What a neat little feature. Why? Oh, it's because this is darker. I think I need to increase the opacity of the outline itself. And maybe decrease the opacity of the texture, the in-between space. Yeah, I think that would fix a lot of what we're seeing here. Oh, there's corners. There's some corner stuff going on too. Dang. Okay. I can call you Ant? Okay, cool. I'll probably mix those two up. I'll just be sure not to call you late for dinner. It's such an old-timey joke. All right, so how do I want to tackle this? So one way I'm thinking about fixing this is about splitting the outline from the underlying texture. So if we look at our block template, we have these different layers and they overlap. So like here, the outline's in white, you know, and the underlying texture is in gray. And you could be like, "Hey, well, Dave, the underlying texture is identical for all cells." And it's like, well, that's because this is flat. But you could imagine that if this was textured, if you were at the bottom, you'd have like you'd have some stuff. Maybe like, especially if you're talking about the interior of a ship, maybe you would put panels at some point, or I don't know, some other thing along the bottom. Maybe you had some kind of, or above at the top, maybe you'd have like, I don't know, crown molding. I don't know. Just something. And again, you could say, well, that's the outline. And it's like, that's a good point. So I don't know. I'm tempted to split this up and move the outline over to its own layer. There are downsides to that insofar as it would take twice the number of tile map layers and double the size of every tile set atlas texture. But it would solve a bunch of problems for us. It would also enable rendering passes that didn't use outlines, or rendering passes that only used outlines. I don't know if we'd want either of those things. The reason why I feel like I need to do something is because if we have this thing where, like, here's a good example. So if I just draw out a floor plate, you'll notice that the outline isn't along here. There's no outline along here. It's only along the back. And that's because the tiles in front of it are overwriting because they overlap, because the crosswise lines, the lines where two tiles meet, quote unquote, vertically. Ship wireframe view. Oh, that would actually be pretty sick. Sapphire Starship, now that you mentioned that. I could also imagine some people being like, I don't want an outline. I could also imagine the exterior view of the ship not having an outline. Because a black outline at the exterior of a spaceship makes almost no sense. It will just look weird. So having a pathway that can ignore outlines makes some sense to me. So here's the problem though, and it would increase the amount of, so at the moment when each tile is drawing, it checks itself first, and it's like, oh, I don't need to draw anything for my tile. Great, I skip. If we do it this way, even if a tile would normally early out, it will need to check its upstream neighbors to determine. So it would need to check two other tiles. Maybe even maybe even three if it has a corner. You need to check two or three other tiles to determine whether it should draw something. And I don't have parts of, I mean, I do have parts of the outline that's only one side. So if I get rid of this texture, so I do have some outline stuff here that's only one side. But when you add the underlying texture to it, it doesn't work anymore because we just want the outline. We don't want the underlying texture. So this wouldn't apply to vertical outlines. So I don't know. It might be overkill to do this to just fully split these. But it might be kind of nice. You know what I'm saying? Sapphire, that is right where your mind went when you said outline only rendering. Yeah, that sounds cool. I don't know if it would work super well, a wireframe view, with this forced perspective. Because the problem is a lot of lines, they form like weird tangents and stuff. Tangents like visually, like in terms of the composition, and it kind of blurs things together, so it's kind of hard to see. But it would be pretty cool to have a view like that, like especially if you had a sensor and you were like, I want to use the sensors to look for life signs on this ship, and then it just shows the ship, and the ship is in wireframe, and you've got like a heat map for like the crew or something like that. I don't know, something like that. That would be pretty sick to be able to draw a ship with just outlines. Because you can't actually use that many of these overlays because the overlays stack because they're semi-transparent. But the outlines you could overlay and you wouldn't create this like mess as much. That's kind of cool. That's not something I was intending on doing, or that wasn't a use case I had in mind, but it does support the idea of doing this. It's kind of neat. Also, someone had a really smart idea of not hard coding in the transparency in the tileset atlas, but hard coding it, but coding it into the tile map layer itself. That's also a good idea. The only thing is we would need to have a grayscale that's relative to these three, to the top face, the mid face, and the side faces. Doesn't even have to be the whole ship. You could possibly show only certain parts of the ship and outline only. True. True. You could have like an active scan. That's something I haven't really thought about is fog of war stuff. But that's definitely something we would want to think about. I forgot to change the radio. I'm going to do that now and eat this last piece of toast. I think we're going to try this out at the overlay level. I don't think I'm going to quite implement this at the hull level for the solid hulls, which I have open here. I don't see a reason to do this yet. Though actually maybe I do see a reason to do it. Which is that we could have the texturing all here, and then we could have the outline filling in the remaining space, and then we'd be fully using the space. Instead of what I'm doing right now, which is just putting the door proxies here for some reason. Which should probably be in their own spot. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Sounds good. Change this a couple different ways. So we're going to double this one's canvas size. What a background color that is. And then this should be relatively easy to do because we put them on separate layers, so I shouldn't have to actually do anything other than move them over. Although I should snap them to the grid, he says. Okay, that's weird. Oops. Sapphire, more flexibility is usually not a bad idea, even if you never actually use the features. Yeah, it's I don't think it's that bad. I did think about it. I was a little concerned about the additional tile map layers, but tile map layers are pretty efficient. They use a dictionary. So a sparse tile map layer, I don't think actually costs us much. It also shortens the amount of data we're pushing over in each packet, which is pretty good, quote unquote packet. In the packed tile map data that we push from the simulation layer back to the rendering layer. Rhiannon, you got caught by the Twitch VPN issues? Oh no, none of your chats were going through. Y'all with your VPNs. Well, that sucks. Twitch should probably do something about that. Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. All right, how are these in terms of distribution? So you're the second darkest, fourth darkest, sixth darkest, fourth darkest. Interesting, interesting. So this is 10 if I ramp from not black, but from white all the way down to this. I think that's fine. Rhiannon Journey, how many tile map layers would this turn into now? You're losing all trust. Okay, I think this is a separate thought. You're losing all trust in basically the government and all big business, so you're starting to use them by default. During your workday, you don't as much, but you didn't realize it was still on all day. Sapphire, very justified. Pretty much always a good idea nowadays to not put trust in something that isn't your own. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. That's reasonable. I have one of the best ISPs, as far as I'm aware, in like the country. So I feel pretty good, but that doesn't protect me against everything. I probably should consider stuff like that. Shenanigans. Not too bad. Just grabbing some lunch. Happy Wednesday. Thanks. Enjoy your lunch. I'm finishing up this nice cup of coffee here. All right, so this seems okay. What I could do is I could recolor this a little bit, which I think I will do to be in line with how I'm currently thinking about this. Oh, Lord. Brightening this up, since I think we're going to actually modulate these at the tile map layer level rather than hard code them into the actual texture. Okay. And then so I need 3 more positions. Oh, this actually isn't that helpful. I guess it should be like this. Oh, wait, I want all of these to be the same, don't I? Ultimately. I do, but I'm gonna... The template is gonna be like this. Rhiannon, didn't you hear the current admin is starting to crack down on Godot development, specifically people working on block editors? You better watch out. Yeah. Yeah, I should. I should be careful. Oh, is this already the color I was going to use anyway? Okay. Feels weird, but that's what we're going to do. All right, so this is our template. This is what we're going to use as our template. We're going to make a copy of this. It's going to overwrite the current overlay block. Modulating the tile map level is a really cool idea. That is good. Modulating at the tile map cell layer is at the cell level is bad. You can do it pretty performantly at a pretty high scale, but I ran into some problems with that, so I'm not going to do that anymore. But doing it per layer, I think, is okay. You think it would also make it easier to add in accessibility features? Yeah, I should think about more of that stuff. All right, we're happy with this. So this is our new... So we save this. And so what we're going to do... All we're going to do here is we're going to actually just change all of these to be solid white. Which again, it's like, Dave, why are you doing it this way? This is so stupid. This is like basically a bitmap. Yes. Just because the current use case is dead simple doesn't mean it will always be. Like you could imagine if we were doing an oxygen overlay or a fire overlay or a toxic gas overlay, you could imagine where we do some cool stuff with texturing. And this would provide a lot of different ways to do that. You could have like security fields or like weird kind of interference. You could do all sorts of stuff with these different textures. But yes, this use case is dead simple. And that's okay. So we've got some teaching to do, which is unfortunate. Got to rewrite some stuff that depends on the organization of the tileset atlas. I guess not really. It just treats these as separate atlases, and they're organized identically, so maybe we don't actually have to do very much. I do want to do something here, similar. Are these hard-coded layers? I bet they are. Oh no, they're not. They're separated. Excellent. Ran into any like an air pressure overlay that shows which direction the air is flowing out of the ship? Ooh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, definitely. Because yeah, that's not normally something you normally get. Diginanigans, you try to have the mindset of accessibility by default rather than putting in explicit toggles where possible. It's easy to overlook, though, and a lot harder in game dev in general than other software. E.g., if you consider color blindness in the palette you use for everything, you don't need to worry about color blindness toggles, etc. Yeah, the problem is that's really hard to do when you're a solo developer. If you don't suffer from it yourself, your awareness of it is probably not great. So like I don't have a lot of accessibility issues, maybe some wrist issues, and I work glasses. My vision's not great, but practically I don't really have a lot of concerns like that. So it's hard for me to foresee those because they're not front of mind, but they are something that I need to do. If I knew more about just standard, just good game dev production procedures, I'd probably be better at it, but yeah, it is something we need to think about. So we're going to make a 256 by 128 for the doors. The doors, we're not going to do the outlines separately, I don't think. Not in proxy mode, quote unquote proxy mode. Unless we actually want to do it this way. What's this way like? 128 by 256. I like the horizontal better for this. I need to change my default palette. Right now it's still set to bare necessities. High sat or low sat? Probably high sat. All right, time to copy a bunch of layers. Can I get all of these? I don't think I can. I don't think I can get these in one go. Maybe I can. All right. Where are they? Well, that's awkward. They're probably way over there. All right. I think I need to make the canvas the same size. 1024 by 512. What did that do? Kind of worked. Oh, it just looks very big. Okay, there it is. Let's try that again. There we go. Oh, I need the X ones as well. I think that's right. Should it be right up against the edge? No, 2 pixels down. And then I want to move these ones over. Rhiannon, did you end up doing work on Bernard over the weekend? No, I was so dumb. I thought I didn't commit. I thought I didn't push the changes I'd made before. I made a bunch of art I wanted to implement in the game, specifically UI stuff. And I went to this meetup and I thought I didn't have it. I forgot that I put it on, that I always put my post-jam stuff on a different branch. I thought I just forgot to push it. And so I also genuinely forgot to push my Digital Iliad stuff too. So I was like, wow, I have nothing to work on. So I just kind of hung out and chatted with people there. It was a little awkward. Diginanigans, you've got a bit of a background in accessibility because a lot of the stuff you build for your job needs to be accessible for regulatory reasons. Colorblindness in particular, you can apply filters to test for. Audio is a matter of having captions on screen, etc. Yeah, I know there's a really good resource for accessibility in games. It like lists them in terms of like, is it this? Yeah, gameaccessibilityguidelines.com. And this one's nice because it sorts them by how easy they are to implement. And so you can be like, what's the low-hanging fruit? Okay, here are all the basic ones. And they're by category too, which is great. Some of these I just do anyway, like an option to adjust the game speed. That's a crucial debugging tool, right? Just by itself. And then there's lots of other stuff. These are all the beginner ones, like the easiest ones to do, like remappable controls. Avoiding flickering images. Yeah, so going through this as early as possible and thinking about your own plans, like vision, like think about that for your UI. Hearing, like how much stuff do I want to subtitle? It's like I could subtitle it pretty easily because I already have the lines. Like it's all technically, I don't actually need to caption my audio because my audio is just gonna be like pixel art, like do 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 do, and it'll be like the text reads across the screen and like you hear a little audio cue or whatever. But I should do that in a way that like a text to speech system can like pick it up and actually do it or something. I don't know. But yeah, this website's great. GameAccessibilityGuidelines.com. Fully endorsed by Paul Barnett. You know the most about colorblindness and keyboard accessibility for websites? Okay. Provide a macro system. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. No, this is neat. And yeah, there's multiple tiers. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Why and how? Yeah, it's got a lot of stats justifying. Because a lot of times you're like, well, how many people does this really affect? And it's like, actually a lot. Yeah. This is great. This is a great resource. I need to spend more time on it. Uh-oh. How did I do that one wrong? What? Why is this one just wrong? What did I do? Weird. All right, I think that's right. Now I can reduce the size of it. We'll save it. What do we call this? I'm going to call this hall type doors. Should have said door proxies or something. Yeah, accessibility can be a lot harder to patch in retrospectively if you didn't consider it from the onset. Yeah, I definitely don't have the experience to really thoroughly think about it from the onset, and it's gonna be a little hard, but we'll try to keep it in mind. Oh, Rihanna Journey, you wouldn't even know where to begin adding screen reader support to a Godot game. You believe it's possible? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure all that stuff is very possible. Um, we're guaranteed of one of two things in life. Either we become disabled in some way or we die before we do. That's interesting. It's a class of people that anyone can join at any time. That's a great way to think about it. You gotta get rid of the otherness of it, you know? It's not how we should be thinking about it. All right, so this is a separate file now, which is fine because doors are treated separately. And I kind of like the way we've organized this now. Single, double, triple. There's space for the quadruple door. We've left space for the mythical quad door. You'll never get it. You're never gonna get a quad door. I'll never let you have it. Someone makes a quad door mod. I'm like, banned. Get out. All right, so now let's move the outline. Let's move this outline down to the end is what we're going to do here. That's how we've decided to do this. I'm move this down to the end. Oh, there's extra. No, there isn't extra space. I'm an idiot. And we'll delete this part of it. All right, almost done here. And we can start plugging everything in. Oh, hey, Arneo. May the gods watch over your tiles, friend. Thank you. Tiles for the tile god. Autos for the auto throne. How's it going? How's it going, Arneo? All right, so this is the new format. We're moving the outlines off to its own separate layer or separate section. This is great for right now. It's like exactly what we want for this purpose. I kind of want to lighten this color because right now it's kind of hard to see it against the background. Let me think about that for a second. So what color do we have here? Let's see. So this is 2 from the top. I think that's reasonable. This is the next one. Let's 2 from the bottom. Oh. is actually about the lightest color it could be, considering the way we were doing the ramp. Okay, that's okay. We should replace these with textures someday. All right, I think we've got everything set up here. Got a new overlay kind of bitmap thing. And we've got the hull type ones, and we've separated the door out to its own layer. So we got to rebuild a bunch of the tile sets, but that's okay. That's not that hard to do. Thanks for the hydrate, Alien. I've only been drinking coffee. But I'll have a drink of water here now, just for you. I was looking at the themes for the solo dev jam this weekend, the potential themes. Because apparently we are voting on the themes. I don't know why I thought it was organizer selected. I figured it out in time to vote in the final round, so that's good. We'll be interested to see what it is. There's a couple that I think would be quite fun. There's a couple that are definitely would be would push us in a very overscoped kind of direction. But I think it would be interesting. All right. Okay. Yeah. Typically, as is typical, I haven't updated the defaults. I really need to, but I'm gonna do that. I'll do that offline. We don't use these yet. They're really just for like what happens when you try to load something and you can't find the resource for it. This is what we're gonna be using right now. Oh, well, hang on a second. This seems wrong. Oh no, I see what it's doing. Never mind. Okay, so that's fine. But now what we need to do is we need to make a distinction between what do I want my word for the opposite of the outline to be? I think I just want to keep calling it texture. So I think I'm going to rename these texture. Anyone been working on anything interesting this week? Just surviving? Just hanging in there? Yeah, I worked a lot yesterday. I'm going to try to chill tonight. Wednesday is the one. Wednesday and Friday are the two weeknights I don't have game dev co-working. I have game dev co-working Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights. So I try to do work in the evenings at these events. It's really nice to work alongside people. We can keep the door. Well, the door proxy layer needs to change, probably. Why doesn't this get updated when I do that? What do I have to do to get that to happen? Oh, it's because I have this selected. That's stupid. Okay, what if I do this? There we go. So this one needs to be rebuilt, and that's okay. I think the other ones are all fine. But the door proxy layer one has to be done. So we'll make a new we'll grab an atlas. We'll grab our new one for the doors. We'll type doors. No. Fix the IDs. I forgot what I called this. I think I called this single door. And this one's texture region is 16 by 32, I think. Yoink. Oops. Too far. Rhiannon, you've been putting on more streams in the background, and the body doubling helps a lot, keeping you going on your own work. Yeah. Yes. Shenanigans, is your water cup a translucent green? Or whatever you use as a green screen? It had a really trippy effect that looked animated. Oh, it's metallic. This was homemade by a friend. It's really sick. It's using the pattern that another friend of mine came up with, which was this kind of dipped, kind of this diagonal dipped kind of look. It's a really sick mug. I have a few more of these. But yeah, I think what it's doing is it's reflecting what's on the screen back at the camera, and it's also green, so I think it's like messing with the chroma key. It has a green strip in it. I don't know. But yeah, it's a really cool cup. Thanks. You're wrapping up a couple non-exciting projects for work and working on your map editor a bit. Haven't touched it as much this week. Fair. Yeah, I've been working on a lot of day job stuff too. A bunch of automations. Why does this want to be saved? Why does this scene want me to save it? It's concerning. Not do that. Let's keep working on this. Oops. Rhiannon Journey, you think you're going to try to pick up working on your game again that you haven't touched in a few months just because of life? That's awesome. Well, it's not awesome that just because of life you haven't worked on them. It's awesome you're picking it back up again. That can be hard because there's usually like a refamiliarization period where it's just like, it's so hard to kind of stuff all that back in your brain. It's a lot easier when it's kind of like slowly ballooned inside of your brain and it kind of takes up all the space. But if you then had to like clear that from your mind and you haven't worked on it in a few months and then you try to get all that stuff at full size back into your brain again, it's so much harder. That's when you feel the pressure of like, I could just redo this and it would be better. I'd be better off starting over and stuff. And everyone feels that impulse, and it's like so hard to avoid that sometimes, especially when you're picking up something that you haven't worked on in months or longer. Arneo, same for you. You get much more done with this in the background. That's great. That is great to hear. Yeah, I talk about my favorite working stream all the time, and it's that woodshop one, the Wormwood Gaming. I put that on in the morning, every morning, and it's so good because it's got you can hear some warehouse sounds, you can hear machines running a little bit, you can hear people talking a little bit, but it's mostly just like music. It's really good. I admit, I have a little bit of a harder time if someone is talking a lot while I'm working. Which is ironic because I talk a lot while I'm working on my stream. So if I ever get too distracting, just tell me. And I'll try to chill out. Just don't talk to me about like Babylon 5 or something. Don't like Don't get me going, you know? Don't. Rhiannon, you're worried about starting over. You're not too far in either, so restarting wouldn't be throwing away too much. That's always the justification. Even when you are too far in. But yeah, I think that can be reasonable. It's like playing a strategy game. It's always tempting to like start over. Because you've learned so much. You could do it so much better this time, you know? Could I have just used all of these with the same offset? I think I can. I think all of these have the same offset. Oh, we're in ads. Sorry about that. Don't forget to use your Prime sub this month. If you're sick of ads. Arneo, your code comments can save you with a delayed project. You talk to your future self a lot in the comments. I think that's smart. I think that can be very smart. I should do that when I put something down. Like when I wrap the autotiler and the tile system's done and it's like 2,000 lines of code or something. That's when I go in and like do the comments. It's like when I'm putting something away, especially if there are weird like implicit state things or something like that. It's like, this will only work if you do this, like, or don't try to do this with this, or like something like that. Like, I think that's a good time to use that. Or obviously to-dos. To-dos are also good that are localized in the code. Arneo, changing this variable will affect these three things. Don't change this, you idiot. Yeah, exactly. But on the other hand, you could just name the variable, do not change this, you idiot. In my mind, that's as good as a comment. In many ways, better. Sacred environmental variable, do not touch. If you value your life, do not change this. Stuff like that. All right, this should be fine. I haven't changed the organization of the door pieces, so this shouldn't matter. All right, this does mean we do need... How do I want to do this? Diginanigans. Yeah, you like to use commit history for that, as well as editors that have automatic save history, because then you can see what lines you were editing and when. Yeah, I was doing that yesterday when I was trying to track down my transcription errors. I was like using the diff a lot to see what I had done. It ended up not being that useful, but it did eliminate a lot of options for me, which helped. Otherwise, I would have been worried about certain things, you know? All right, so what do I do here? I think I'm gonna not touch. I need to come up with a system for like managing source IDs. Or this is gonna get annoying really quickly. What I kind of want to do is just copy all of these duplicate. I should probably duplicate them one by one because it's going to ask me for a new name. Instead of texture, we'll call it outline. Git blame can be so helpful. Of course, you're the only person committing to the repo, so you're always the one to blame. Yeah. I get what you mean, though. I don't use a lot of Git capabilities, to be honest, and I think it's because I haven't had to collaborate with other people very often, meaning I particularly avoid collaborating with people. It's nothing personal, I just don't like people. Why did this not... Oh, I see. Yeah, so these are going to have different source ID counts. I guess that's okay. So I'm not going to change the default. Actually, I guess I should. I should delete one of them, huh? Maybe we just fix this file now since we're fixing all the other ones. What do you say? Is this called the default block? That's like terrible name. I should call it like the missing block or something like that. Oh, this hurts my eyes. Oh, that background does not help. So this one's fun because this one actually has a colored outline. Shenanigans. Give us a good refresher on where your head was at the last time you touched it. Oh, like the comments and stuff. Yeah. I mean, in theory, I could like review my own VODs if it was like really bad, but I don't transcribe. Well, transcribe's the wrong word. I don't like very accurately describe. Well, I guess I can because actually my commit history, I title my commits based on when I was working on it. Specifically with relation to the stream. So I'll have like, if I do a commit, I'll list the episode number that was that commit. And it's like, if I had to, I could go back to that stream episode and I could watch it and I could literally hear what my thought process was as I went through it, which is kind of neat. I shouldn't only do that. Like I shouldn't rely on that, but kind of a neat solution. Rather than having this dead letter. Because that's the thing about comments is they're dead letters. Unless you know, for like process reasons or whatever, that they're always up to date, your presumption should be that your code comments are lying to you. Which makes them not helpful. Because mine never are up to date, like ever. The only time I'm confident that my comments are up to date is if I only wrote them after I was done working on the thing. If I like finished the thing and I was like, here are the comments. But then as soon as I touch the thing again, I'm like, well, these comments, I don't know if these comments are still valid. So I don't know. I just don't like having to maintain it. Oh, tomato salad. Red alert. Tomato alert. Hide the code. Luckily, we're not working on code right now. How's it going, Raiders? Tomatoes? What's up? When did this solid, like, stroke go, like, get added here? Weird. We gotta fix that too. Red alert. Phaser banks on full. Exactly. Darth Blackman. Good evening. How are you? I'm good. We're working on some tile set stuff. We're separating out the outlines from like the underlying textures in our tile set atlas because it's going to open up some flexibility in the way you render some stuff. I'm just fixing a little bit of this. I should go in and fix this now. I don't really want to, but I'm going to probably. Which is we have this. So at some point I accidentally mirrored these, which is bad. But how was your stream? What have you been up to? For raiders that aren't familiar with what we're doing, we're working on an FTL-like. It's an isometric, kind of isometric 2D kind of FTL-like. So it's this 3D world with like 3D ship designs and stuff and like verticality and layering. So it's like the 3D version of FTL, but it's still presented in isometric 2D. So we have a very weird rendering model. We have this auto-tiling rendering model where we take our 3D space and we render it in isometric 2D. And we have a big auto-tiler that does this for us. We've been running into some issues with outlining, specifically around overlays, so we're tweaking some stuff right now. Sorry for the just crazy checkerboard blast. Can I just take this top line and then just copy it down to the bottom line? In fact, can I just take this whole chunk here? No. Do this once and we'll be good. So that one was too short, so we needed to extend it. So we'll take this. Thanks. The stream was good. Interesting talks and continued with the prototype. Great, great. What prototype are you working on? Sapphire. He's really just working on an autotiler. That's the game. Yeah. Autotile the game. Yeah, in Journey, it's like those haunted games where you have to spot the differences, but this time you have to spot the missing outlines. Yeah, that's the game I'm playing, though, for sure. May no one else have to play that. Tomato Salad, you're working on the prototype for a mining game, and today checked out how to let the whole mine collapse once enough sections are harvested. Plus checked if a visual state machine makes sense to add. Now after the raid, last thing you actually put in, question and think of removing again. Oh, yeah. I love getting to the end of something and being like, should I have done that? Should I do the opposite of what I just did? Okay, yeah, I remember I think a little bit about your mining game. I love a good mining game. That's one of those genres that always gets me. I'm always happy to spend a little time on like a mining game. There's something incredibly satisfying about it, about that activity. So that sounds exciting. I'll be excited to try it out. Right now I'm updating this tileset atlas source that is designed to be the asset you're trying to use is missing. This is like the source engine magenta missing texture kind of equivalent. I messed it up at some point, and I'm having to fix it. We redid a bunch of our tileset atlas sources this stream, and this is kind of the last one, I think. It needs to be redone. Okay, so these are all correct. You'll notice that these aren't mirrored. And then somehow up here, I mirrored these and made a horrible mistake. So we need to like delete this and fix it. I don't know when I managed to do this. Because these textures are interesting because they can't just be mirrored. Because the checkerboard pattern doesn't do that. Doesn't work like that. Hold on a second. What's going on here? Oh, I didn't start with the top row. You have to take it as a small side project game. That's the best kind. Dave yearns for the mines. Yeah. Dome Keeper, Arneo. Just one word, Dome Keeper. Yeah, Dome Keeper's a goat, for sure. But Dome Keeper comes from, like, I mean, it adds that, like, tower defense aspect, but it comes from a long line of, like, side-scrolling little block mining games. And I love those. I can hardly think of the names of any of them anymore, but man, I played a lot of them. For sure. Hey, still needs work. How's it going? Long time. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Anyway, thanks for the raid, Tomato Salad. If you got to run, no worries. If you're down to chill, that'd be great. I'd love to hear more about your game. Or if you just want to, you know, lurk, drop the lurk. Appreciate it. Whatever you got to do. Thank you. All right, so what's the easiest way to copy this over? Probably to, like, take this and, like, extend it. I can probably just copy the rest of this over here. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. I always am on the wrong layer. We'll lurk for a moment until you remove the state machine. Oh no. You love a good state machine. I'm doing good. Still needs work. We got a game jam this weekend. We're going to be doing the solo dev jam number 9. It's a Halloween theme jam. We're excited. It's going to be fun. It's Friday to Monday. I don't think I'll get to work on it all Monday, so we're going to try to scope low and really take it easy. But it's the 24th to the 27th. It's soon. Just under 2 days. Or just under 48 hours. Should be fun. I like these jams because I'm allowed to use pre-made assets. So they're a lot more relaxed than like Ludum Dare or whatever. All right, that's good. All right, fix the mirror. You do that too, draw on the wrong layer? Yeah, constantly. Yeah, we're good. We're still auto-tiling. You know, doing our thing. The same thing we do every night, Pinky. try to take over the world. I'm really hoping this is the last time I have to change these tile set atlases for a while. We've done this a lot. I mean, I'm hoping this is the last time I have to change the format at all. I guess I'm not technically changing the format here, but it feels like it. We're splitting the outlines from the underlying textures and we're putting them on different layers. Which I think will be cool in the long run. In the short run, it's a bit of work. Hey, tricky lady. How's it going? Are you gonna be, got any fun game jams or anything coming up? We're gonna be doing the solo dev jam this weekend. I've seen you in some solo dev associated streams like Symbol stream. How are you doing? Yeah, you're right, Sapphire. More likely than not, we'll be changing something about this again soon. That's kind of why I feel okay putting a ton of work into this block editor tool. Is I'd rather sort out my asset workflow as early as possible before we start really making very much in terms of assets. All right, now we got to do these. This is going to be kind of a pain. I should probably change the grid to be shorter. We're not on the right layer. Let's get onto the right layer first. You're too new at Godot to do anything by yourself. You seem to be super into voyeurism, tricky lady. You want someone to watch you code in Godot? Start streaming. Start streaming. Make like a Let's Learn Godot stream. People would watch. I don't know why anyone would watch this stream, but they do, so you know. The bar is low. I don't know what I'm doing, that's for sure. Oops. Why am I doing this often? Do it like this. There we go. And then the easiest thing would be to just recolor this. I don't know what happened over there. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, there is a spam bot. Thanks, Sapphire. I was gonna ban them and then I forgot. Let's blast them.
He's dead, Jim.
Got him. Symbol is good though. How would I rank myself though? I am way less productive than Symbol. I feel like Symbol makes a lot of games. I I do game jams too, but I only do like a couple a year. And so I'm usually working on stuff that's like much longer format. So I don't know if I could achieve the productivity levels that Symbol does. Oh. I missed a spot. There we go. What about knowledgeable? I don't know. I don't know much. I also kind of engage with Godot kind of obliquely. Like, we're writing all of our code. All of our simulation layer is in like C# in this like separate, it's like pulled out of the engine. It doesn't really interact with the engine very much. And that's where a lot of my day-to-day programming is. So I'm not always working in the engine proper. When I learn about the Godot engine, it's usually during a jam, and I'm trying to do stuff just directly in the engine. So I think I know I'm okay at like doing stuff, but I wouldn't call myself any kind of Godot expert because I kind of come up with my own workarounds for stuff a lot, my own systems, which is fine, but it means I'm not as versed in like how you would do that in the engine. Why do it keeps wanting me to save this scene? I'm not changing it at all. Just super weird. Watch me load the tile layer I was working on or whatever, or the tile set, and it's like none of the changes I made are recorded because I didn't save the scene, even though the scene is not the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the engine did that to me. What are we doing? Oh yeah, finishing this. So is this one okay? Kind of. I'm gonna just fix it anyway. There's nothing more lovely than cramming an entire idea in a 7-day period creation window with few food, a lot of caffeine, and near to no sleep to afterwards celebrate your 5th place spot. Mental health burnout. Just love game jams. So cozy. Yeah, I love them too. And I weirdly like that aspect of it you're describing. Like, I actually pretty much only do weekend game jams. The longest of which is like typically 72 hours, like the solo dev jams. Oh, what's going on here? Is that okay? Yeah, it's probably fine. I don't like doing like 2-week or month-long game jams. I know I couldn't keep up the pressure for that period of time. And if I tried, I would not be good. It would not be healthy. All right, I think that's it. We're wasting a little space, but that's fine. We'll come up with something. Might actually add a third one of these to match the hull types. I probably will, but I'm not going to do it right now. Nah, maybe I should. Just so that it's the same as this. Although if it's the same as this, couldn't you just honestly just substitute in this? I don't know. I guess I kind of want to make the point that it's missing. Could we really have... So what are we doing? How are we doing in terms of coloration? I don't think we have quite the range to do this. But maybe we do. Maybe we're okay. Kind of like that this is a purple outline, but maybe I should back off of that. It wouldn't be like that. Like you'd rush for a full week, and the second week would just be you chilling and redrawing stuff or seeing what you could add to make it function better. Yeah, I don't know how I would handle that extended period of time. All right, so yeah, let's do this so that it mirrors the other. I honestly haven't really had a reason to use this yet, so this feels like a little bit of a wasted effort, but you know, whatever. I want to try to keep all this stuff in sync. Getting kind of lost in terms of where I'm at. Here? Yeah. Let's at least make this the same so that it works the same. Then we've got our two defaults. I know it's like tile set days are really boring days, but it's okay. I'm just trying to have a very low-key day today. I worked way too much last night. Where's all the way down? Like here? Why am I at the end all of a sudden? Oh yeah, that's where I'm supposed to be. You think your game ideas are just about the right length for a jam? That's awesome. Mine are not. I struggle to not overscope. I like really systems heavy design, so it's hard for me to rein that in, but I'm trying to be better. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this side over, and we'll do some recoloring. That'll be it. Assuming I'm on the right layer, which I rarely am. Scope creep is inevitable for you. Still needs work. Yeah, same. I really have to be careful because I'm trying real hard with this jam this weekend. This is not going to be like an all-nighter kind of situation. Maybe I could stay up late on like Saturday night. I know I'm going to stay up late on Sunday night, but no all-nighters. This isn't like Ludum Dare or even Down to Jam. I need to chill. And I'm hoping the fact that I don't need to make every single art asset, and in fact, I'm going to probably make none. I'm just going to only use pre-made assets. I'm hoping for two things. One, I'm hoping we don't, freeing up all that time on implementation saves us a lot. I'm hoping for that. Saves us a lot of time and effort. That's my hope. And then I'm also hoping because of that, I'll have a lot of time to focus on game design, which I often don't get a lot of time to focus on game design. all my game jams, with the exception of, like, A Following Wind has a kind of an interesting idea, and I obviously didn't have time to, like, work it out. I explored it a little more in the post-jam version, but, like, I rarely have time when I'm doing compo or something to actually spend time designing, playtesting, refining the mechanics. I'm hoping to have more time this weekend for that sort of thing. I'm trying to fix that. Now that it's, like, not a question, well, now that it's not as much of a question as to whether I am able to make the assets, I wanna take advantage of that additional headroom in this jam to focus more on the design and improving that. All right, so let's pick the right tones here. So this is actually quite interesting. You know, we could go higher a little. So we're going to probably go a little higher this time. So the left is the midpoint. This is the darker and this is the lighter because it's outer, middle, inner. You know, I should probably have that in the opposite order. So the outline comes near the outer. I kind of don't want to do that just because that would be work. Thanks, Tricky Lady. No, it's just really good for free assets. That's what I did for Mini Delivery, which was my last solo dev game over a year ago somehow. I really like the solo dev jams. And yeah, I've just been able to find free assets on itch. And I think because this is a Halloween themed jam, I'm really hopeful there will be a lot of fun free stuff going on. All right, let's figure out where we're at in terms of the spectrum here, or in terms of this. So we're here to here, here to here, and then up here we're here to here. So there's a one space gap, which makes sense. So honestly, what I'll probably do is make this set. Probably grab this. Make this just a little lighter. It's gonna look a little weird. But that way we can imitate the outer, middle, inner distinction. This might be too light. We might darken kind of everything. Or we might actually have the range. The step back. Oh no, this is the same step. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, we can step back a little. So what we're gonna do is this color is actually gonna be here. This is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna darken this a little. That feels like a lot. And then use this here. Which jam is it? You get that it's solo? Oh, no, it's literally the solo development jam. Practical NPCs jam. Put on by Solo Development, Practical NPC Draman, and our very own Symbol 24. It's this weekend, 24th to the 27th. Should be fun. Should be fun. Yeah, I'll drop a link. Hey, A6 Kitty World, how's it going? Hope you don't mind if I just call you like A6. Oh yeah, magic numbers are the worst. Diginanigans. Oh. Okay. I have a problem. I can't okay, there we go. On my YouTube chat, I kept zooming in the text on accident and I couldn't zoom back out. I was like, oh no. 250 joined. That's pretty great. Very excited. Very excited for this. Starts Friday. All right, so we're going to keep on with this color set. How's it going, A6? So we're darkening this layer up a little bit, and so the next layer can be brighter. I wasn't planning on having 3 different layers of this, but it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm going to do the floor pieces in a second here because I'm having a hard time. Oh no, this is the floor piece. That's awkward. I guess this piece is going to get a little brighter then. Oh, that can't happen. Oh, this is exactly what it is for a reason. Dang it. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this can't change. I actually have to put this back. That's fine. That's fine. This will just get brighter. So this one is going to be this. Oh, that's bright. Okay. Kind of hate that. So far, I haven't found a use for this yet, so I'm not going to rip on it too much. Did I do this in the right order? Yeah, okay. You haven't seen Practical in a while? No, he hasn't been streaming, but he's active in the Discord. So, hope he's doing okay. I think he's just busy. Memento Mori's been in early access for a while. Oh, this is so bright. Sorry for the gross, bright checkerboard nonsense that's on the screen right now. This has kind of gotten a little out of hand. When does it not? Sapphire, if you hate it, doesn't it mean that it's doing its job? You aren't supposed to enjoy seeing this pop up? No, that is a great point, Sapphire Starship. That is a great point. It is doing its job of warning you that there's a missing texture. Because I think the game is going to, at minimum, expect you to have a different texture for the outer, the middle, and the inner hulls. And if it can't find it, it's going to let you know. All right, one more. I just got to change this one, and then we're good. So this one needs to step up one more. And be just the most appalling thing. That looks fine. Makes it stand out even more. Yeah, it really does. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's in the lineage of the source engine, obnoxious one. All right, so we remade all of these. That's pretty productive for our first couple of hours. During our third hour here, we're going to plug it all in. Hopefully get it all working. We're having a very low-key productive day today, which is great. Love to see it. So this is exterior and interior, which is pretty great. But I think I'm going to rename these to better align with outer, middle, and inner. It should really be the other way, though, huh? It should really be inner, then middle, then outer, then outline. Maybe I just fix that now. Now is the time to fix that if I'm going to. Then it's also alphabetical, which for some reason that matters to me. It really shouldn't, but it does. It helps me organizationally in my brain. So we're going to do one more stupid thing. Don't mind me. So I'm just going to pull these out. I'm going to copy and pull these out, rearrange them. Did I not go far enough? No, I did. I might have messed something up here. I don't think so, though. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. But yeah, you sound like you'd do just fine with a game jam, Tricky Lady. You know, it's like starting game dev is like planting a tree. Best day to do it was yesterday. But the second best day to do it is today. Three days. 3 days is the sweet spot for me for a game jam. 3 days is it. That's like the magic number for me. 72 hours. 48 hours is too short, especially for something like Compo where you have to do all the assets yourself from scratch during the jam. But 72 hours, I've started to make it work. We did good with our art pipeline for our last game jam. Like I said, the gameplay wasn't great, but we achieved our goals in terms of... Why did I do this way? I'm so dumb. So dumb. I'm just gonna have to recopy this. These are on the same layers, but whatever. I'm such a fool. I guess I could just recolor instead of copy. You know, I could have just done that anyway, huh? But it's good to keep the source. My workflows aren't the best, I'm gonna be honest. I'm always working on my workflows. I'm a very process-oriented person, so I do like spending time improving my workflows, but I'm constantly fighting the impulse to just push forward. I appreciate everyone hanging out today. during what I know is a very boring day in terms of what we're working on. We'll have one more day this week to work on the main game, and then we'll get into game jam mode on Friday. Friday to Saturday, Sunday. We're going to be streaming Sunday, so an extra day of streaming this week, which makes me feel better about missing a couple days last week. It'll be fun. We don't normally do a Sunday stream, except when we game jam. I love streaming during game jams. It's such a different vibe. It's really cool to be streaming all day. You meet a lot of people. A lot of people come in. A lot of people raid through when you're streaming all day. It's really cool. I don't think I would do all-day streams on the regular, even if I, like, let's say I didn't have my day job. Let's say I could kind of just do whatever I wanted. I still don't think I would stream all day. I think I would be more, instead of doing like an 8-hour stream, I think I would do like 2, 3, or 4-hour streams. Like, I don't think I would increase the length of my individual streams much. I don't think I would. I'd be more interested in streaming multiple episodes in one day. Because, yeah, I don't know how you staying live for 8 hours is really hard. It is pretty draining. All right, let's move everything back up. So we rearranged the order. Now we just gotta move everything back up. This isn't that bad, he says. He says mostly to himself. Sapphire, you'll get to see me make something other than an autotiler for once. Yeah. You missed Bare Necessities, huh? That was the last game we did. I'm still really proud of that. It's not much of a game, but in terms of what we were able to make, we got second place for art, which is the best, far the best of anything I've ever done for a game jam. I'm usually ranked in like much higher. Or higher. By that I mean like bigger numbers, which is worse. But yeah, that jam we were like, we're gonna make art. The thing we're doing this jam is to make art. And everything else is kind of an afterthought. And it was. Everything else was an afterthought. And the game didn't turn out great. But it was a cozy little experience and I enjoyed making it. I really didn't need to copy this part over because this part's not changing. But I did anyway, so whatever. Try to be a little smarter. For the other file. Problem is, so much of game design is doing something that you feel like you're only ever going to do once. And only once you've done it for like the third time are you like, I could improve this. Sapphire, you only actually started watching like last week. Feels like longer though. Isn't that crazy how time works? I really appreciate it. Yeah, we're starting to put together a community that's really cool. Like the Discord's active, not so active that I'm like I can't follow it, which may happen someday. At which point I'll need to bring on mods and stuff. But at the moment, it's lively enough that I feel there's really good exchanges. It's really nice to see what everyone's working on. It's really great. Our community has only been around for a year and a half. I guess coming up on 2 years in February. It's crazy to think about. Oh yeah, that's the other thing about streaming a game jam. It grows the channel like crazy. Like each game jam I've streamed, the channel has grown by like 5 to 10% each time, which is really good. All right, we fixed it. Now I can get rid of this layer or this bottom part here. Back to that. All right, so now we go inner, middle, outer, outline. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna need to fix a lot of stuff, but I like it anyway. I guess I should swap these. I don't know what to do about the doors. I guess I technically should swap them. I kind of don't want to. But I kind of should. Let's swap them. Oh, did I not need to do that? Yeah, that's an easy swap though. You really enjoy. Sorry, my voice like gave up partway into that sentence. You're really enjoying this community, Sapphire Starship. You're feeling comfortable. You haven't really been part of a community like you have here before. It's a pretty new feeling to you. That's really sweet. Thank you. We try to be accepting. We try to be inclusive. We try to be supportive and encouraging. We try to be the anti-Reddit. You know, someone posting something shouldn't expect to just get, you know, only negativity and skepticism, and that should not be what you expect to get when you share stuff with your community. And not to just randomly burn indie game Reddits. There's obviously great indie game Reddits, like the solo development subreddit, which is putting on, you know, the game jam that we're doing this weekend. So there's obviously good ones, but it's like there's a lot of toxicity in the digital world, and that's not acceptable to us. So if anyone ever feels uncomfortable in the community, please come to me. Please let me know. Especially if it's me making you uncomfortable, geez. Like, that's never my intention. But it has just gotten harder to be able to interact with people online, even in person in a post-pandemic world. But online, it's just gotten so hard with all these AIs and agents and ads running around pretending to be people. It's a tough world at the moment. All right. Okay. Swap this one now. This is the last one we got to swap. What's the best way to do this? Just kind of the same thing we did before. I think I can do this one in situ. I think what we do is we just change the colors again. Oh yeah, it's definitely me. I'm definitely the most toxic element in my own community. I'll own up to that. No, it's really great. It's really great when I see my phone has some Discord notifications and I pop it open and this whole like thoughtful like design discussion just occurred. And I didn't need to like instigate it or, you know, moderate it or anything. It just happened. And now I just get to enjoy it just like any other member of the community and like get involved to the extent that I have time for or want or feel comfortable or whatever. We're trying. We're definitely trying. I probably should have copied the colors that I was going to use honestly. But I think I'm okay. I think I'll be able to figure out what colors we're using here. So this is light. So dark, light. So that means this one's the dark one for here. Shenanigans, you blame me for making your chair uncomfortable. You're not sure how I'm gonna make it right. Thanks for forgiving me. I'm sorry about your chair. Ooh. Is that what we had before? Oh no, it's not. I don't think it is. So this is that. So it's this. So we need one shade lighter than this. Okay. Yeah, we got that. And then what we need is 2 shades lighter for this. There we go. That's it. So dark, light. We're back in ads. Hold on to your ads, people. We'll be through the other side in a few minutes. I don't know if I love this song. All right, now what do we want? We want one set lighter. So like this. Yeah, I think that's right. All right, we got that sorted now. All right, now we can move on. The overlay block is interesting. Well, we're using the space, except here, but that's like nothing. We're using it here. Someday maybe we'll get the quad door in here, you know? Someday. No promises. Probably not. I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of a hypothetical quad door. What we can't allow is for any kind of door gap. We can't allow for the existence of any kind of door gap. If there's a door gap, we gotta fill the space with yet another variation of door. All right, so now these all change. So is it possible to like duplicate this? That would be pretty cool. Oh, I deleted something. That was the opposite of what I wanted to do. So this is actually, so I need to rename these something. So this is now inner, middle, outer, and then we need one last one. Actually, no. We don't actually need any of this for this. We can delete all this. Delete, delete, delete. Because this is actually not an outline layer. Oh no, it is an outline layer. Oops. Ignore me. So we still need 3 of these. So I can get rid of this and this and this. And we can reset this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I mean 2. Is this the order that I want? Missing, overlay, then hull type. I guess it doesn't really matter, huh? I guess it's fine because then these are even and this is odd, and I can do something with that maybe if I need to. Have any clue which theme it's going to be? Not really. Not really. Kind of just going to wait and see. I did vote. Might go back in and change my vote. Having some thoughts. All right, so here's the default overlay, bulk layer outline. So all I really need to do here is change the margins. That's really all I need to do.
All right, let's bring that beat back.
784. Is that right? No, that's too much. 78, 68, 768. There we go. It's gonna be the hull type outline. It's gonna be the default outline. This will be the overlay outline. I could just say hull outline. I don't really need to say hull type. I'm gonna keep it though. And then I'm gonna add a 768 margin. We didn't actually change the organization, so we don't have to change anything else, which is nice. Which is nice for us. Although, this says Y. Why does this look like an X? Did I copy the wrong one? How is that possible? Oh, I understand what I did. Never mind. I just need to change the outline again. Or the margin. Oh, actually, which one was... Oh, I was working on the X. This doesn't always update, which is kind of concerning to me. So this is X. Okay. Great. This is outline X. This looks correct. Yeah, black and white is maybe the one I'm least excited for, especially because I want to use pre-made assets. I do not want to have to make art. And the more specific the visual theme, like if there's a specific visual theme, that's going to be hard. But even so, maybe we just start from assets and then we do some like, maybe we turn them into black and white, or maybe we do 3D. This is kind of the only time I would ever consider doing 3D. And I actually kind of might be down to do a 3D black and white game. But yeah, Dreams also, I think I downvoted that one. Just because it didn't seem... Like, yeah, I think you could do a Nightmare on Elm Street thing or something like that. But, like, I wasn't sure what I would want to do. So the margins should be... So what's 768 plus 128? $896, okay. $896. There we go. $450. You were close. Nice. How's it going, Bad Cop? You can draw in 2D quite fast. Yeah, I just don't want to for this. We did a lot of 2D art for Bare Necessities, which was my last jam game. We did all 2D pixel art from scratch. It's definitely what I prefer. I just have in mind that this jam is like a chill jam where I'm not doing all that stuff. So yeah, black and white. We would make it work. We could make it work with post-processing. We wouldn't actually have to do that much. Oh, you're jamming? Yeah, I'm going to do the solo dev Halloween jam this weekend. 384. I felt bad. I've only done one. I've only successfully finished one jam this year. I would like to do more. What did we say? 896. Okay. That should all be fine. And the Z layer one, this one should really be fine. It should be easy. I should just leave this calculator open. You Are Not the Hero. That one sounds fun. You Are Not the Hero sounds like a great Halloween theme. It'd be fun to do some kind of silly, like, I don't know what I would do, but like maybe some kind of like dungeon keeper thing. Why not make a game that marks all of the above? I've done that before. I've hedged my bet and like designed a game that like fits multiple themes. Or I've thought of game concepts that could potentially overlap multiple themes. Do black and white and enable bloom. Yeah. All right, that's another one. This one. All right, let's do all the outlines and then we'll fix the other ones. I think I've got a rhythm going here. I could probably make this bigger. You Are Not the Hero is a theme you have rented about endlessly on stream. Oh, do you not like it? You have a really crazy idea, Bad Cop, for a game jam theme. What if you actually play as the bad guy? Oh my god, so innovative. Nobody has ever thought of this theme before. No, yeah. It's not original. I just think it's good for Halloween. I think if there's any time to do that theme, particularly, Halloween's a good time. Diginanigans, the more you're getting into it, I think you may make your map editor as a standalone project to start with for making maps for TTRPGs. Ooh, that'd be cool. It'll also be the tool for making your maps for a game itself, but figure you can use it to help drive traffic to the game when it's out, and if things get that far, potentially a bit of funding. I think that's reasonable. The person whose game jam template I'm using this weekend they're working on a premium version for it. I think if your tooling is good enough, I think that's cool. Could offer discounts on the game for anyone who has the map editor. An editor can come bundled free if you buy the game. Ooh, that's kind of cool. What I expect is that I would like to be able to export my map designs to my 3D printer. Thanks. That would be really cool, honestly. $768. I always mess something up about this. I'm being very careful as I change these. Make sure the source IDs all match. Bad cop, if you ever did LD slaughter, like half of them boil down to you are the bad guy in different words. If the theme is black and white, you have to make a full color murder mystery game where someone says, this doesn't seem so black and white. Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like the black and white Futurama episode where they show you someone discovers a color that no one has ever seen before, and they're like, "Wow, it's incredible. There are no words to describe this." That was funny. I think I would kind of enjoy the black and white one. I've been really enjoying like limited palettes and stuff. I think that would really help me with my grasp of like differentiating stuff with contrast. I think that would help me. It would probably be kind of hard, but I think it would be kind of cool. But yeah, I get what you're saying about the you're not the hero one. I feel like it could be interpreted in more ways than just you are the villain. I think it'd be funny to make a game where you're just like an innocent bystander. Or maybe you're like some kind of middleman and you're playing both sides or something like that. I think there's some ways you can interpret it, but that's risky, you know? It's always risky to have an unusual interpretation of a theme. So many people just give you terrible ratings because they're like, I don't understand your interpretation of the theme. So that's kind of a bummer when that happens. God, I can't math. 896, that's right. Make a game that is black and white, but only ever one of them at a time. Salmoning did so poor on the theme, but Salmoning is one of the greats. But yeah, I could see that. It would have been funny if Salmoning ended up being a multiplayer game that you had to be invited to. Like, you couldn't just play it or join. Maybe that would have upped your theme points a bit. You had to be summoned to play the game. I mean, it probably would have affected the number of ratings you got. The whole point of the theme is just so everyone starts at the same time. People who don't like creative interpretations have lost the plot. Yeah, exactly. It's like a hedge against people like submitting pre-made stuff. So it's like, I get it. So I get that you want to punish people who are off theme, but it's like there's a difference between being definitely off theme and being creative with it. But yeah, I feel like most of the time you just get punished by having any kind of unusual or creative interpretation of a theme, which is unfortunate. Yeah, my wind summoning game similarly got dinged a bit where they're like, what does this have to do with summoning? And I'm like, literally, you're like, you like conjure wind to like push stuff around. Like, I don't know. It's not demons, okay? I think you kind of just had to do a demon game or nobody took you seriously. Oh, I see maybe a mistake I made with this. But that's okay. I think what we're gonna do... I could get rid of this. Yeah, we're gonna use it. We're gonna use the whole buffalo here. Oh, I actually totally understand and see why this doesn't work like this, but it should. It should work like this. Three stars if you did the opposite thing, obvious thing. 5 stars if anything else. That's actually pretty good. I actually endorse that rating standard. Most people, it's the opposite. It's like 5 stars if it was the obvious thing, and then you just lose points for however long. The longer someone had to think about it, the more points you lose. Diginanigans, in all seriousness, it's not that complex to do since it's all in 3D anyway. Just a matter of breaking into chunks and converting to STLs. Oh, you're talking about the printer thing? Yeah, that'd be super cool. I feel like if you added support for that, though, you'd do it as a third-party plugin because you don't want to troubleshoot people having issues printing things if they don't know what they're doing. No, that's fair. That's fair. It's kind of funny writing a third-party plugin for your own plugin. But I get it. I get wanting to like disavow any requirement to support it. That's why I'm unlikely to put out any plugins for anybody. I'm happy to like share my process like publicly, but I don't want to actually have to support people. That's like, that can be a lot. Insofar as I don't want to have to actually support code that I've previously written. So, is this all good? Are we done? Did we do the outline? Okay, I think we've got the outline here. Now we've got to just fix the texturing here. I really wish I could copy these. Can I? Can I just say control copy paste? No. I'm just saying, I feel like there should be a duplicate. Should be a duplicate option. Doesn't seem to be for tile sources. You can put things out unsupported too. That's sort of what you do, Bad Cop. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true. Well, I'm annoyed that I have to rewrite this, or that I have to write an extra one of these. A lot of your code is available, but doesn't come with instructions or anything. That's fair, that's fair. I was looking at Jampack. You did Jampack, right? That's yours? I think I might use that for bare necessities. If I ever actually do a post-jam version of it. Did I just overwrite the... Oh no, I left space. I left space in the IDs? Crazy. Crazy, Dave. You want to make a version 2 of Jampack? It was just something you threw together one weekend. Yeah, ain't that just the way? It looks cool. I've seen it working. It's kind of exactly what I would need for bare necessities. Because it's kind of web. It's like web only, and it like auto plays. Like, kind of nice if you can just pick one to run. I don't know. I don't know how that works under the hood, but yeah, it looked feasible to implement that. We'll see. I'm very worried for bare necessities because I know usually once I've done another game jam, I start thinking about doing the post jam for that. So I'm a little worried that the window has passed. But I don't have that much in mind to do for it, so hopefully I can rally and actually just do it. I should. I'm gonna try. We'll see. We'll see what I come up with. Who knows? I might design a jam game so good and glorious that I just abandon this project and only work on that. That's not gonna happen. Is this all good? This looks all good. Oh, these need to be flipped. This is now inner, outer, and middle. All right, I need to give this a temporary name. Add that postscript underscore. Prevent a name collision here. Okay, so far so good here. I feel less confident about having this right here. Maybe it's good, actually. So all it is, it's an HTML page that sits in front of the two bundles. Oh, that's smart. You only made jam packs so people would stop stealing the exact colors and stuff you used originally. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's a great way to stop people from stealing stuff. You just give it for free. All right, I think I have to do this. So I have to just add one tile set to each one, to each remaining layer. I think I can do that. I have a feeling we're going to leave this in a pretty broken state when we're done today. Unless I actually have time to do all of it. This worker, this contractor is downstairs again. They've been working all week. Doesn't sound like they're trying to drill up through my floor today, which is nice. Nice for me. Bad cop, you posted a guide. Nobody was customizing it. They just took your code verbatim. That sounds like people. Sounds like the kind of thing people do. I do think I'm going to start pulling some stuff out of this project into a plugin, but that would just be for like code organization purposes, I think, more than anything else. It's not because I'd have any plan of putting it up on the asset library, because again, I don't want to support it. People would make fun of me. Anyway, my code is terrible. I'm very much the that'll do coder. I code from the Midlands. Midlands of my mind. Not that one. You've never done asset library? Yeah. I know some people that have. I think it's a cool thing to do. I do feel some pressure to like give back to like the Godot community. My autotiler is like too specific. If my solution had been more general purpose, I would love to like help with like the isometric support for like terrains or something. But I think I'm too newbie to like actually try to like contribute to Godot directly. Maybe someday. All right, so what I gotta do here is we gotta set these up still. I'm a gold level Godot Foundation supporter. That's all I can do. Which, thanks everyone in the chat. We pretty much support. I can pretty much support my monthly contribution to the Godot Foundation using money I get from Twitch. So that's kind of awesome. So thank you, community, for underwriting my contributions to Godot. When I picked up Godot, I just started sending them the equivalent of the money that I was sending to Unity every month. And I just never stopped. I'm just like, this seems fair. I feel like I should give back more at some point though. Godot has been so good. Feels so different than like being part of the being part of like the Unity engine community. It felt way more hostile. Maybe not with the individual people at Unity that actually did the systems. Those people were super nice. I love talking to people that worked at the Unity or the Unity engineers. I love talking to the Unity engineers, but I think the Unity business people were the ones, were the troublesome ones, you know? All right. Okay, I think this layer is done. You've been donating. That's contributing more than most. That's unfortunately true, but they are doing good. The Godot Foundation is doing good. They're getting good funding. It's kind of cool. They're getting a lot more funding from commercial support. They're getting more support from like JetBrains and whoever else. I wonder if DICE is contributing to the Godot engine. They still make the Battlefield games, right? DICE still exists. It's crazy that that's the map editor for Battlefield 6 is like a fork of the Godot engine or something. I'd like to think that they're doing some kind of contribution. I'd like to hope, I guess would be the way I'd phrase that. All right, we're looking good. We're looking good. Let's change these. 16 by 32. Mark all these. Oh, what am I doing? Z layer. Mark all of these. 32 by 8. And I'm pretty sure the offset is 24 and 12, respectively. I think that's right. Check. 12 and 24. Great. Sapphire, you love that Godot is gaining ground. You hope it continues to and become like Blender in the sense that it's wisely used and kept open source. I hope that. Is there a meetup this weekend? It was last weekend, Bad Cop. It was last weekend. Pretty good turnout, too. Yeah. That's all right. Next month, I think it's going to line up with the Bad Collective's like playtesting and pints event, which they put on at a nearby arcade. That's been pretty fun. They've been doing that once a quarter. Hopefully it happens next month. I know next month's like the beginning of holiday season, but that could be fun. I don't do enough in-person stuff. I think we're circling back to the whole I'm just not out amongst people very often issue. So are we good? Are we good here? Did I do it? Did I do the thing? Oh no, I gotta do these 3. Dang it. I don't love that the tile set doesn't always load. It's a bit concerning. Makes you not sure which tile set you've actually selected. Oh, 16 by 16. You still need to shill cave room 2. I think cave room 2 will spread like a wildfire throughout the internet once they figure it out. I mean, I'm sure it's better than Starfield. Hey, Theron King. It's on the project list for today. We are splitting the rendering of the outlines from the underlying texture, mostly for the sake of our overlay system, but I think we're going to see advantages everywhere. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. I am not confident I'm going to finish it in the next 20 minutes, but I think we can finish all the setup, and then we might rewrite the autotiler tomorrow. So you can highlight stuff separately or something like that. Something like that. It has to do with there's some overlap between tiles, especially tiles before and behind other tiles. So there's some vertical overlap in terms of screen space. And it means that there are some tricky situations to handle if you're only drawing the underlying texture and the outline as one thing. It's a little hard to manage that way. So it's better if we do it this way. But how are you doing? How's the project going? I know you've made some big changes recently, I think. I think you talked about it last time. Wireframe ships, the Sapphire Starship. You're looking forward to see how that looks. I think that'd be cool. I think there's to be some interesting stuff there. I do need to think about that more, about what the interplay will be with like any kind of fog of war system, because it's like you're not gonna, even if you can like zoom in on an enemy ship, you're kind of dependent on your sensors for being able to actually see what's going on in there, right? So I think there would be some interesting stuff to do with like partial information that could take advantage of stuff like this. Like you could have a life science scan or like a systems scan where you're like trying to identify where their systems are to like target, like, so if you're like target weapons, you need to be able to figure out where the weapons are, right? I think that could be cool. All right. What is the offset for this? -8, -6. Okay. Theron, you tried switching to Unreal for about 2 months. Right, that's it. You thought it would take 3 months, but after 2 months, you guessed it would take about a year. So you went back to Godot. You think you might have a playable demo on Steam by end of the year? That's at least your goal. That's great. I hope to be done with this tile block editor by the end of the year, which would mean we'd worked on this tile block editor for at least a year, which is a little concerning, but you know, I have a couple of game ideas that I can build with this tool. So this is another thing where maybe this gets spun off into a plugin or something. It makes a lot of assumptions, this tool. Like you could only do this in like a game that's like it's in C# and it's using my ECS or whatever. Like it's very, very specific, and it would depend on my ECS plugin, which I should make as a plugin. I don't know. Our side project, I still need to figure out how to organize the code for the side project because I don't actually want it to be a different project. I want it to be one project so that it can utilize a lot of tech from my other project. I'm hemming and hawing about that one a little bit. I might just need to have split branches and do a lot of management with that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't plan things out. We know this about me. I'm the YOLO coder. I just sit down and I work on whatever's next. And I just do that until I run out of things to do. Unless I'm in a game jam, at which point I just panic. Theron, you can't even imagine working on tools that long. You just mean you don't personally think you could handle a multi-year solo project. It's something. It's something. Oops. I think starting game jamming last year was huge. I think that was a huge lifesaver for me. I think if I hadn't started doing a couple of game jams a year, I wouldn't really learn nearly as much. I wouldn't learn about a lot of things that I don't normally engage with on my main project. But I also think I would have kind of gone a little crazy. It's really healthy. It feels really healthy to take a break. It's like the CrossFit of game development. It's like you shouldn't always be working on long projects. You should try working on short projects too. Because I think you learn different things and you get some different iteration loops going. You learn a lot more about actually putting stuff out there and like taking feedback and stuff as well, which is nice. It's nice to just finish things. There's stuff you can only learn by finishing something that you can't learn any other way, right? Digital Iliad, it's funny because that's how you approach jams. That's hilarious. You just do the next part until it's over. That seems like that highly depends on your ability to scope accurately for the amount of time that you have. That seems hard. Very cool, though. I think we did pretty good for scoping on bare necessities. I mean, ignore the fact that I originally was going to do an idle game, and then I realized we didn't have time to make all the art assets that an idle game would need. Otherwise, I feel like I'm getting more comfortable as far as eyeballing the amount of time I would need to make my art assets, but I'm glad I don't have to think about that this weekend. I should probably start sourcing some assets ahead of time, because I feel like I'm gonna just look at what's available on on itch for free in their free assets section, and those are the assets I'm gonna use. And if the theme is black and white, then, you know, I'll just figure that out. All right, that looks good. Why do these have somewhat different names? I have to reorganize these. And by reorganize, I mean rename. Okay. Okie doke. Can do. Didn't I already do this one? No, I didn't. There's a local maxima for jams, though. You become really good at making jam games and not so good at making actual games. You can always use assets as a starting point too and modify them. That's true. That's true. I should be more willing to do that. Enochian RXN. You're looking good. Thanks. How are you doing? Welcome in. People don't usually just show up and say I'm looking good, so thanks. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing good. Do I need... I guess I did this a little wrong. I should go back and fix this one. Yeah, because I actually don't want to do it like this. I don't know why I thought I would need these potentially. Could I have done that a different way? Could I have like... There's no way to select all of these, huh? Can I do it with my key? Nope. The delete key doesn't do anything. Doing good? You're taking a break from learning HTML and CSS? That sounds like a literal nightmare. That's like the one kind of like programming that makes me like not feel good. Web dev stuff like that. Specifically, like I mean people always complain about CSS. I think pretty much anytime anyone brings it up, but I really have no web dev chops. It's really never been anything I've invested in. But that's cool that you're taking the time to learn it. Hey, tricky lady. You are tricky. I feel like I gotta be on my toes. Keep me on my toes here. Okay, that looks good. So we can do the same thing over here now, I think. Yeah, okay. Rename these. Inner. Middle. Default outer. Throw these in here. I don't need any offset for these, right? No. Diginanigans. CSS has come a long way in the last couple decades. Browser support is pretty consistent and standard across the board now. You're pretty sure a lot of the GUI stuff in Godot is inspired by CSS. Interesting, interesting. If it's any consolation, I don't like control nodes. I don't know why I said consolation. That doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's not a consolation for anything. Enochian. Well, if it isn't that much of a brain fart, then you could try HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, okay. I've so far not had the need to do any of that. Pray that continues. All right, so I have to just flip the names of all of these, huh? That's not that hard. Oh, these names are allowed to... These names don't have to be unique? Okay, that makes this easy. They're on. Learning Flexbox is the only reason you were able to figure out how Godot UI nodes worked, so that was good for me. Okay. Maybe I should try that. Because, yeah, I go out of my way to avoid using control nodes sometimes. Depending on what I'm doing. JavaScript is much more difficult. JavaScript I have a lot more experience in. So maybe I could manage that. I mean, that said, I don't like JavaScript either. I don't know who does, but... right, did I do it? Did I do the thing? I think I did. I'm sure I forgot something crucial. I think I got it. So what else do we need to do? So what we also need to do is we actually need to add the tile map layers now that we actually want here. So we need to go to the level. So here, this is where we do this. Thrawn, if nothing else, there's some good Flexbox infographics that might just help you visualize the node layout system without even really studying or learning the CSS for it. Okay, okay. Rihanna Journey, it's true CSS, or it's true CSS is so much better nowadays. You love Flexbox so much. I haven't really heard of that. But you know, that's not a surprise because again, I'm not a web dev. Oh, I gotta fix the door layer. I remember what we're doing now. Gotta fix this door layer. I think. Is this just right? Did I already fix this? Was this like the first thing I fixed? And I just don't remember. That seems to be the case. Are these offsets all correct? No, there are no offsets. Okay. Well, that's something I gotta fix. So negative 810 and 810. Negative 810. 810. Okay, I forgot that part. All right, so unfortunately, this does mean doubling the number of tile map layers. Well, essentially doubling the number of tile map layers. We're going to go from 7 to 13. I'm okay with that. So I actually don't think you get punished very much for having a sparse tile map layer. Did Shenanigans, you love JavaScript and TypeScript? Well, you tacked TypeScript on there, but I actually have no opinion about TypeScript specifically because it sounds like it solves maybe the things I don't like about JavaScript. Rihanna Journey, you remember doing layouts and tables, and then you got floats with a clearfix class? Okay. Did you think it's HTML, CSS, TS is your jam, lol? See, I noticed you didn't include JS in that list. All right, we are running out of time for today. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fix this scene. Deck layer. So can I just... Whoa. What the heck is going on here? This is not the scene that we want. All levels new. So do you still use something old here? Oh, you really do. Okay. What if I get rid of this? Oh, then you just have no characteristics, huh? Don't save. I gotta clean this project up. Rhiannon, you love HTML, CSS, and JS for front end only. Shenanigans, you love JS too. TS for bigger, more complex projects. You love the simplicity of knocking out a single page of HTML, CSS, JS, and loading it in a browser, and it just works. Okay. Just when I use C#, it just feels like it feels similar to JavaScript, but just like better in every way, pretty much. All the things that really annoy me at JavaScript don't seem to be present. in when I'm doing C#. I do a lot of JavaScript in my day job, which is maybe why I don't like it. All right, so what are we going to do? Are we just going to make copies of this and then alter the texture or alter the tile set? That's probably what we just do, right? We just duplicate this. We just say like X outline, texture. Do I want to say texture X? I guess. I'm a little concerned about how the ordering of this affects the sorting. I'm afraid of what the consequences of doing it that way is. But I think we're going to try it anyway. So this is we're gonna replace this with this one. Can I just drag this over? Yep. That's pretty cool, the shenanigans. Man, time just flies during these streams. Pretty incredible. I think I've done a good job of picking like the time when I'm most awake, which is like after I've done like a good few hours of work in the morning, but before I've had lunch. I think that's like the sweet spot for me. After breakfast, before lunch. That's usually when I do game dev, which is nice. Oh, how do I want to do this? I don't know. I don't know how I need to order this. I don't know if ordering it matters because it's all being Y sorted. I guess we're going to wait and see. Oh, bulk layer's on a higher Z index, so it shouldn't matter actually. So I just need to worry about the sorting within the deck layers and the bulk layers. There's not going to be any kind of weird interaction between the two. So everyone got on their plate for the afternoon. I got to go back to work. I also got to do some laundry and the dishes after work. So that's exciting. No? What a mighty Wednesday we're having here. You know, I've considered dropping everything I'm doing and going to go see Frankenstein in the theater. It's showing like the theater I want to go to, it's showing all of a sudden they added shows for yesterday and not yesterday, for tomorrow and Friday. And that's it. That movie is having such a limited run in the theater. I'm like, man, I really want to go see that. But I could also just wait a week and go watch it on Netflix, which I pay for. So I'm like, I really want to see it in the theater, but I also want to justify all this money I spend on Netflix. So it's a conundrum. I was watching Tim Rogers yesterday and he was talking about it and I'm like, damn it, Tim. He'd seen it at the theater. It's like, I don't need any more encouragement. It's really annoying because they didn't announce all the theaters in advance. They announced like a first round of theaters, which was like just almost like exclusively like LA and New York. And then they announced the second run up. And I was like, damn it, I already made plans. Really want to see it though. It looks really good. I love Guillermo del Toro. Love his films. And he's apparently at the top of his game right now, which is great because I haven't seen any of his work for a while. I'm very excited. All right. So I feel gross having 13 unlucky tile map layers. I want to call this like door proxy layer maybe. Since I'm renaming things, why not? But that's what we need to do. And so now we've got our new layers. What do I need to do otherwise? I feel like there's a lot of systems that depend on the number of layers per level. And by a lot of, I mean at least 2. Rhiannon Journey. Wednesday is grooming day for your 3 dogs. I could see why that's a whole day. Most recent one has some anxiety around nail clipping, so you'll be working with her for a good long while, just getting her used to us being around her with nails with clippers. The trick I've learned is you just put a bunch of peanut butter on your forehead. You just saran wrap your forehead and then smear a layer of peanut butter over it. Pro tip. All right, I'm gonna do a cursory look. A cursory check of the GD script side of things here, but I think we're going to save most of this for tomorrow. Where would I have written any kind of constants around this? There's no script associated with this. Yeah, I really need to clean this stuff up. The board? Does the board count? No, I guess it's all dynamic, huh? Fascinating. The autotiler, a bunch of stuff in the autotiler is going to have to change. But I need to start making that more dynamic too. I want to do some spring cleaning. There's so much stuff in this project folder that is either irrelevant or like straight up obsolete. I need to go through and actually figure that out. So yeah, stuff like this. Hull layers is 7. Hull layers is now 13. Well, I guess these aren't hull layers, because I don't consider those part of the hull, but I should probably rename this like tile layers. I could say this tile layer count. Tile level count. Overlay source ID is still 3. Reserved source ID count is 4. This is not correct. This is also 3. I don't know why I've... Actually, I guess the reserved source ID count is 7. Sensory hell, but you can imagine that working. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely optimizing in favor of the dog's experience over yours. All right, I think that's it for today. I feel pretty good about that progress. I think tomorrow we won't have a hard time changing the auto tiler to be able to handle that. It'll definitely be that the whole stream tomorrow, setting that up though. Still getting used to this crazy zoomed in font level or font size. I think it helps, but it also feels like I'm staring at the code from like a foot away or 2 feet away, which is accurate. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for the stream. No, thank you. Again, super grateful for this community. Blows my mind that, you know, y'all like spending your time this way. Sorry, self-deprecation is my security blanket, okay? Have a good day. Catch you later. Yeah, thank you. You as well. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing the same thing. We're doing it every day this week. Thursday, Friday. Thursday. So tomorrow we'll be finishing this up. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll be doing the our spooky Halloween game jam, which will be so much fun. Yeah, thank you all. Thrawn Keen. Good luck on your project. Good luck to all of you on whatever your endeavors are. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.